Today, I invite you to travel to the rugged coastline of Cornwall, England, where towering cliffs overlook the restless Atlantic Ocean, and where a lonely lighthouse stood against storms, darkness, and time itself. This is the story of a young lighthouse keeper whose promise saved lives and taught an entire village the true meaning of responsibility. So find a comfortable place, relax, and let's begin. The year was 1887. Along the western coast of England stood a small fishing village called Blackwater Cove. The village was beautiful but dangerous. Massive cliffs rose above the sea like giant stone walls. The waves crashed endlessly against the rocks below. In summer, the ocean sparkled under golden sunlight. But during winter, the sea became fierce and unforgiving. Many ships had been lost there. Many sailors never returned home. That was why, many years earlier, a lighthouse had been built on a rocky cliff overlooking the bay. Its powerful light guided ships safely through storms and darkness. And for 30 years, the lighthouse had been cared for by one man, Mr. Arthur Bennett. Arthur was respected by everyone in the village. He was quiet, reliable, honest, the type of man who always kept his word. Every evening, no matter the weather, Arthur climbed the spiral staircase to light the great lantern. Rain, snow, thunder, nothing stopped him. The sailors trusted that light, and Arthur never failed them. Arthur had a grandson named Samuel. Samuel was 16 years old. Unlike his grandfather, he was impatient and adventurous. He dreamed of traveling the world. He wanted excitement. He wanted action. He wanted more than life in a small village. Sometimes he wondered why his grandfather spent every day caring for a lamp. One evening, while helping clean the lighthouse windows, Samuel asked, "Grandfather, don't you ever get bored?" Arthur smiled. "Of what?" "Lighting the lamp every night." Arthur looked out toward the sea. "The sailors are never bored of seeing it." Samuel laughed. "It's only a light." Arthur's smile faded. "No, Samuel. It is much more than that." The old man pointed toward the horizon. Far away, a small ship could be seen. Every person on that ship has someone waiting for them. A wife, a husband, a mother, a child. When our light shines, they find their way home. Samuel listened but remained unconvinced. To him, it still seemed like a simple job. Months passed. Samuel continued helping his grandfather. He learned how to clean the lantern, how to polish the mirrors, how to maintain the machinery. But his heart wasn't in the work. He saw it as a chore, nothing more. Then one autumn morning, Arthur became ill. A severe fever kept him confined to bed. The village doctor shook his head. He must rest. Arthur looked worried. "The lighthouse." The doctor replied firmly. "Your grandson can manage it." That evening, Arthur called Samuel into his room. The old man's voice was weak. "Tonight, you must light the lighthouse." Samuel nodded confidently. "I can do that." Arthur held his gaze. "Remember something. This is not about lighting a lamp. It is about keeping a promise." Samuel frowned. "What promise?" Arthur pointed toward the sea. "The promise that every sailor who sees our light will have a chance to return home." As sunset approached, Samuel climbed the lighthouse stairs alone. For the first time, the lantern room felt different. Bigger, quieter, more serious. He carefully prepared the lamp exactly as Arthur had taught him. Soon, the great light shone across the darkening ocean. Everything seemed fine. Then his friends arrived. 3 boys from the village. "Samuel, come join us. We found a cave near the cliffs." "It's incredible." Samuel hesitated. The lighthouse required monitoring throughout the night. But his friends insisted. "You'll only be gone for a little while. Nothing will happen." Samuel looked at the bright lantern. Everything seemed stable. The weather was calm. The sea was peaceful. Surely it would be fine. Just for a short time. So he left. The boys spent hours exploring the cave. At first it was exciting. Hidden tunnels. Underground pools. Echoing chambers. They laughed and wandered deeper. Time passed quickly, too quickly. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered. The wind began to rise. A storm rolled in from the Atlantic. The boys hurried back toward the village. Rain started falling. Lightning flashed across the sky. Samuel's heart sank. The lighthouse. He sprinted toward the cliff. The storm intensified. The wind screamed. The rain blinded him. When he finally reached the lighthouse, his worst fear became reality. The lantern had gone out. For a moment, Samuel froze. His grandfather's words echoed in his mind. This is not about lighting a lamp. It is about keeping a promise. With trembling hands, Samuel rushed upstairs. The storm shook the tower. The wind howled through every crack, but he worked desperately. Cleaning, refueling, relighting, praying. Finally, the flame returned. The great light began sweeping across the ocean once again. Samuel collapsed into a chair, exhausted. But his relief didn't last long. Far below, through the rain, he spotted a ship dangerously close to the rocks. Much too close. The captain had likely lost sight of the lighthouse during the blackout. The vessel struggled against the waves. For several terrifying minutes, it seemed certain the ship would crash. Then the beam found it. Again, and again, and again. Slowly, the ship turned away from danger. Back toward safe waters. Samuel watched until it disappeared into the darkness. Only then did he realize how much damage his decision could have caused. Not to himself, but to others. People he had never met. Families he would never know. Lives that depended on a promise. The next morning, Samuel told Arthur everything. Every mistake. Every detail. He expected anger. Perhaps disappointment. Instead, Arthur simply listened. When Samuel finished, the old man nodded. What did you learn? Samuel looked down. I thought responsibility was about following rules. Arthur smiled gently. And now? It's about understanding who depends on you. The old man nodded. Exactly. Years passed. Arthur eventually retired. And Samuel became the official lighthouse keeper of Blackwater Cove. But he was different now. More patient. More thoughtful. More reliable. Every evening, without fail. He climbed the spiral staircase. Just as his grandfather had done. Rain, snow, wind, storms. Nothing stopped him. The villagers trusted him. The sailors trusted him. And most importantly, he trusted himself. Because he understood something many people never learn, the smallest responsibilities often carry the greatest consequences. Decades later, when Samuel himself became an old man, a young apprentice asked him, "Why do you care so much about a lamp?" Samuel smiled. The same smile his grandfather once had. Then he replied, "It isn't a lamp. It's a promise." And every night, the lighthouse continued shining. A symbol of hope, a symbol of trust, a symbol of responsibility, guiding people safely home. Moral of the story: true responsibility is not about following rules. It is about understanding that our actions affect other people. When others depend on us, even small tasks become important. Keep your promises, do your duty well, and your light may guide someone safely through their own storm. Thank you for listening. May you always be someone others can trust, and may your light shine brightly wherever life takes you.